Okay, hopefully we're live now.
I see that we're live. We have a tiny counter here. So hello, everyone.
Hello, hi everyone. Hopefully you guys
I'm
can
just,
hear us, see us.
I'm
Let us
also
know in the
double
chats.
checking if we have here something on Facebook. Peter loves it. I will try to keep an eye out on every chat that we have.
Yes. So while we're just gonna wait a couple more minutes to get started, just for any stragglers out there, but feel free to say hi in the chats. Let us know if you can't hear us or if you can't see us. Yeah, let us know that you're here.
Yes, we like to hear from you. And while we wait, Danny, I was thinking that I could ask you an icebreaker question instead of just
Oh,
talking about the weather like I usually do because we're in different countries. But I think like that's lame. But speaking of countries, I think this is a very basic but also interesting question. Is if you could live in any country in the world, which one would you pick?
goodness, that is a good question. Um, and one that I've thought of before, and I'm going to be asking you the question back. So
Sure,
um,
sounds good.
I know it's a cop out. I know it's a cop out, but um, I do love Canada. So we are, if you didn't know, we have a team in Canada. We have a team in Lisbon, as though that's a country, but Portugal as well. Um,
Yeah.
and I love Canada. I wish, or if I had an ideal country, it would be one, and there are many of these out there, but it would be one that didn't have a winter, but you could maybe, drive maybe 2 or 3 hours north and you'd have a winter if you wanted it, but you could stay far, far away from cold. Um, so
That
we
sounds
get
like
4 seasons
Portugal.
here. Yeah. So it sounds like Portugal, right? Yeah. Maybe Portugal's where I need to be, but yeah, how about you?
Well, I also have the same feeling as you do. I do love my country. I love Lisbon to death. I love just rolling around in the city. But back in 2019, I went to Scotland and I fell in love with the country, with the people, with the animals. It's amazing. It's really, really cold. Well, I went in October, so it was cold for Portuguese standards. So yeah, that would be second um, my second choice.
Nice. Aw, now you've got me wanting to go there too, so
Oh, we should go together. I'm dying to go there
I'm
again.
down. I'm down. I can't wait. So it's a plan. But yeah, if you're just joining us now, we are going to be talking about serialized products. And I'm Danny. I'll be
And I'm
your
Núrya.
host for today. Yep. Sorry.
Sorry, I kind of cut it off.
No, I think it's a bit of a lag on my end too, so I'm sorry. But
Okay.
yeah, we'll be your presenters today. If you're just joining us live right now, we're going to be talking about serialized products and how to track that in inFlow. And here are today's topics. If you are going to be watching a rerun of this webinar, we will have timestamps, so you can always skip ahead to the topic that you're most interested in. But for today, we're going to be talking about what a serial number is, and there's some confusion between serials and barcodes, so hopefully we'll be able to clarify that. We're also going to talk about briefly why you would be tracking serial numbers in the first place, and then also how you can do that in inFlow. So we're going to go through the different ways that you can track serials, and we'll be doing a demo. So we'll be demoing off the 3 different apps: the Windows app, the web app, and the mobile app. So let's get started. And I guess if you, just to get it out of the way, if you have any questions, please do ask them in the chat. We're going to be keeping an eye out, so we'll try and answer them live. And if we don't, or if we're not able to, please feel free to reach out to us at our website. You can start a live chat, or you can always email us at support@inflowinventory.com. All right, so let's get started. So what is a serial number? That's our first topic here. So a serial number is a unique set of letters and numbers used to identify a single unit of a product. So the keyword here is that it's a unique set of letters used to identify a single unit of a product, versus a barcode, which is the same set of letters and numbers used to identify any unit of a product. So a barcode is going to be the same on every single unit of a product, but a serial number is going to be unique per unit of a product. So just to put this into perspective or context, we're all very familiar with our, we all have serialized products that we interact with every day. The one that we're probably most familiar with is our cell phones. So if we've got a cell phone, taking an example here, we've got three of the identical units of a cell phone. It's the Model Y. Each one is exactly the same, and the barcode number on each of these cell phones is going to be exactly the same. So we can see here the numbers are the same per unit, but each unit or each individual unit or cell phone is going to have a unique serial number. And so we can see here the different, that each unit has a unique serial number. And usually you'll see a serial number with the number, and it's preceded by the letters S and N, just to signify that it's a serial number, and differentiate it from a barcode number. So really the keyword here is unique. So each serial number is unique per product, so per unit of a product. And we'll see in the next few slides why it would be important to have these unique serials per product. So why would you track serials in the first place? So there's a few reasons here, and I've just listed a couple, a few here, 3 of them, but there are plenty of other reasons why you would want to track serial numbers. But the most important thing about serials is that they allow for end-to-end traceability. So you can track a single unit of a product with its serial number from its manufacturing all the way through purchase to storage to selling to a customer. So you'll be able to track its movement throughout the production line and chain. And for many industries, it's actually you are legally you need to legally track these serial numbers for compliance reasons, and especially, for example, for quality control purposes or recalls, so that you can quickly recall any products that have been sold to customers if they're faulty, for example. A serial number will allow you to identify the faulty batch, for example. And just to, again, put serials into more context, if you own a car, then you're probably familiar with the VIN number or the vehicle identification number. Each car is stamped with one of these VIN numbers, and that's actually something that the automobile industry, for compliance reasons, has to do on each of the each cars, and even the components that go into the cars, they have oftentimes a serial number. And other reasons why you'd want to track serials would be for warranty purposes. For example, with electronic devices, most electronic devices will have a serial number. So if you're watching us on a laptop right now, if you look at the bottom of your laptop or sometimes in the back, there's usually a serial number there. And often if you need to call out or get some help with the product, you're going to get onto tech support and usually tell them the SIN number, or sorry, serial number for that. And another reason you might want to track serials is for fraud or theft prevention, because again, because each serial number is unique, you're able to trace and track exactly where this serial has gone to. So for example, if you've sold a cell phone to a specific customer, that customer's cell phone is going to have that unique serial that hopefully you're tracking, so that if that customer ever brings back that phone to you or that unit, you can cross-reference that serial number and maybe the sales order or invoice and make sure that they're giving you the exact same unit back. And another place that you'll often see serial numbers are on banknotes, so on dollar bills or on money. On banknotes, you'll see that each one is stamped with a unique serial, so that prevent fraud. So there's lots of reasons why you might use serial numbers in your workflow. And now we're going to jump into the demos and how you can do that in inFlow. So I'm going to demo 3 different apps so that hopefully you guys will become familiar with all 3. We're going to start with the Windows app. So if you are on a Windows computer or you're able to download the Windows app, we're going to start there. Just know that the way that I'm going to do it in the Windows app is going to be very similar to how we're going to enter serials and create them in the web or browser app and the mobile app. But in the Windows app, you'll be able to create serialized products, purchase them, sell them. And if you are a manufacturer or you're using our work order and bill of materials features, you'll also be able to build finished products that are serialized. So that's always a big question when you're manufacturing finished products, whether or not you can serialize them. You can do that in inFlow, and I'll be showing you how to do that. And then also I'll show you quickly how you can track those serialized products in the Windows app. I'm going to go ahead and switch over to that right now. Oops.
I just started my video again, so you don't feel lonely.
Thank you.
But I just wanted to tell you that I turned off my video because you see those 2 pictures of us down on the corner. So I was just afraid that my face would be in the middle of anything, but I will keep an eye out.
Oh, thank you. You might be able to also move us. So if we are in the middle anywhere, you might be able to move us around.
I think that's admin only, since I'm here just as a co-host. I only have access to turn on and turn off my video.
No worries. I'm sure we're probably small somewhere, hopefully. You guys let us know.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're just in the Windows app. If you're not familiar, this is our Windows app that you can download onto your computer. Now, we're going to go through creating serialized products. So most of this is going to be pretty straightforward, something you've probably done before, so creating products. So the way you're going to create a serialized product is just by going to the main menu, inventory, new product. And you guys have probably all created a new product in the past, so this won't be new information, hopefully. But we're here in the product screen or product details screen, and I'm just going to create a product. So I've been talking about cell phones. That's probably the example that you're most familiar with when it comes to serialized products. So I'm going to create a cell phone product. I'm just going to call it cell phone model Y. Okay, so that's our product name. Now, the important part when you are creating a serialized product is this product type. So this is a required field for products when you're creating them. And we've got 4 types. The type that you select is going to determine how inFlow is going to keep track of your stock levels. By default, most products are created, or by default, products are created as a stock product. So that just means that inFlow is going to keep track of your stock levels for you. But you'll notice there's no place to keep track of the serials. So if you need to track serials, you're going to want to make sure to set your product type as serialized product. So that's what's going to let you or allow you to track those serials in inFlow. So let's go ahead and save that product. Now, an important note is that the product type is a permanent choice. You can't change the product type once you've created that product. So keep that in mind. Once you've set the product type to serialized product, you'll notice now that in the quantity field, you'll be able to enter serials. So let's say I wanted to keep track of 5 of my units. I've got 5 units in stock. As soon as I enter in the quantity, there'll be 5 spaces for me to enter in the serials that I'm tracking. And you can enter in them manually. So I can enter in the serials manually. If they're barcoded, you can scan them into this field as well. Or you can have inFlow generate your serials for you instead. So you can click on Generate Serials, and you'll see inFlow will generate those serial numbers for you as well. And you can add a prefix. For example, if you wanted to add in that serial number prefix, you can do that. You can also add in a suffix, and inFlow can help generate those serials for you. In this case, I actually don't want to generate any serials just yet. I'm going to set that quantity to 0. So that's that's the way that you're going to create a serialized product. It'll be the same in the web app as well. And once you're ready to purchase more cereals from your suppliers, you're going to create a purchase order to do that. So we're going to create a purchase order. The quick way to do it is just to click on buy in the product record. That's going to generate a purchase order quickly with this product on it. But I'm going to go the long way just so that you guys get familiar with it. We're going to go to the main menu, purchasing, new purchase order. And then we're going to enter in our supplier or vendor here. So I'm just going to enter in a new one, cell phone supplier. Oops. Add new. I'm not going to enter any details. These are optional, so you can, of course, enter in your vendor details if you'd like. And I'm going to go ahead and add my cell phone Model Y to my purchase order. Now, if I wanted to, just to show you guys the difference between a serialized product and a stocked product on a purchase order, I'm just going to add in another product. We're going to add the cell phone case that we're using for the Model Y as well. So this one is not a serialized product, it's just a stocked product type. And you'll notice that the difference between those two is that the serialized product has a place to store the cereals, and you'll see that just by the ellipses. You can click on that, the three little dots next to the quantity. A stocked product will not have that ellipses, so we have nowhere to store our cereals. But as you guys are probably guessing, where you're going to store your cereals when you are receiving them is just by entering the quantity that you want to order. So for example, I want to order 10 of these items. Now, again, you can enter in the cereals manually if you like. You can also have inFlow generate them for you. And a common question that we get is, do you have to enter the cereals before you've actually received them? You do not. So you can actually save a purchase order. If your vendor, for example, your supplier doesn't tell you which cereals they're going to send you, you can save that for later and enter those in once you've actually received those items. If you do know the cereals ahead of time, you can, of course, enter in the cereals that you've received or that you will be receiving into the purchase tab. That's fine too. So you've got both options here. So I've gone ahead and created this purchase order. Now, once your supplier or vendor sends you the items and you're ready to receive them, you can go ahead and click into the Receive tab. This is the longer way to do it. You can, of course, click on Fulfilled just to auto-fulfill the order and receive everything that's on it into stock. Just make sure that you've entered in the cereals before you do that. But if you wanted to go ahead and receive it into, let's say, a different location, or if you need to partially fulfill a purchase order, you're going to use the Receive tab along the bottom here. You can click on Autofill, and that will just add any of the products that you have on the order to the Receive tab. And again, the Receive tab going this way is great if you're partially receiving orders. So for example, if I haven't received my phone case just yet from my vendor, I'm going to go ahead and delete it. And we're going to now enter in those cereals that we've received. I'm going to have inFlow generate them for me. So I'm going to click on Generate Cereals. And there we can see it's generated cereals. And of course, each cereal needs to be unique. So you can't receive the same serial number that already exists into inventory.
Danny, sorry to cut you right here, but we do have a question that I think that makes sense to answer while we're talking about this. Felipe is asking if they can scan the cereals.
Yes, you absolutely can scan the cereals. If your cereals are in a barcode format, you can scan them in. You'll just place your cursor. So if we're working off of the Windows app, you'll just need to plug in your scanner into the computer. It could be wireless, or if you've got it wired, that's fine too. But you'll just put in your cursor into that first line and just scan it in, and then keep scanning the subsequent cereals in. So yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Great question. So yes, once you've entered in your serial numbers into the Receive tab, that marks the item as received, and that's the moment that inFlow adds it to stock. So we're going to go ahead and save it, and I've just flipped back to this purchasing tab to see just an overview of the purchase order so far. We can see that there are cell phone Model Y. We've received 10 of them, and you can just tell by this filled in circle, and we're still awaiting the cell phone case because we haven't received it yet from our vendors. So we're going to leave it as is for now. I'm going to go ahead and save it. So this is us partially receiving this purchase order. Now, if I go back to my product, we had 0 in stock. Now I'm just going to go ahead and refresh. I now have 10 in stock, and you can click on the little ellipses here with the three dots, and you can see all of the cereals that you're currently keeping track of. So that's the purchasing side of the cereals. Now, once you're ready to actually sell it to a customer, it's going to be a very similar process, except we're going to create a sales order to do that, because purchase orders are used to bring stock in, and sales orders are used to take stock out when we sell it to a customer. So let's go ahead and sell our cell phone. So again, the quick way to do that is just to click on sell at the top here. It'll generate a sales order for us, but we're going to go the long way. We're going to go into the main menu, sales, new sales order. And then we're going to enter in the customer that we are selling the item to. So I'm just going to put in a new customer here, Jane. And then I'm going to add the product to the sales order. So we're going to do the Self Model Y. And again, if your products are barcoded, so there's a difference between barcode and serial. So I'm just going to flip back quickly to the product here. So we have a separate field to track the barcode number. So if your products are barcoded, you can scan them into the sales order. So for example, I'm going to go ahead and add just a barcode here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's the barcode number. The barcode number is going to be identical for each unit of the product, but the serial number is going to be unique per unit of the product. So I've gone ahead and saved a barcode number here to my Model Y product. I'm going to go ahead and just delete this real quick to show you how it would work if I was to scan it in. So if I were to scan this product in, I would just scan it in. inFlow would pick up the barcode number and then identify it as the cell phone Model Y. But I still have to identify the unique serial that I am selling to the customer. So in this case, let's say I'm selling serial number 10. That's the serial number that I'm selling to this customer. So I'm entering that serial in, and I can go ahead and save the sales order. And when I'm ready to fulfill it and pick it off the shelf, I'm going to click on fulfill. That's just the quick way to fulfill an order. Of course, you can go into this fulfill tab if you're partially fulfilling a sales order, or if you need to pick items from different locations, you'll do that from the fulfill tab. But just very quickly, we're going to fulfill this sales order just by clicking the fulfill button. As soon as I do that, inFlow deducts it from stock, and it's going to deduct serial number 10. So if we go back to our product record, we had 10 in stock before. Now if I refresh, we're back to 9. And as expected, we sold serial number 10, so we no longer have it in stock. So hopefully that was pretty straightforward. That's how you can purchase and sell serialized products. And now if you are a manufacturer or you're using inFlow to keep track of your finished products and the component items that go into it, you can serialize those finished products. That way you can track the serialized finished products, where they get sent to, like which customer they get sold to, and then track back which work order they were on and what components went into that finished product. So I'm just going to quickly demo that in a very simplified way. So if you've used the work order or bill of material feature before, you're familiar with how it works. If you've never seen these features before, I recommend checking out our work order and bill of materials webinar just to get more familiar with it. And maybe Núrya, you can link the knowledge base article for our work order and bill of materials guide as well. So I'm going to go through this pretty quickly. If you have been using those features, you're familiar with this, so it'll be hopefully straightforward. Now I'm just going back to my product record here. I'm going to go ahead and create my finished product that's serialized. We're going to stick with the cell phone theme. So let's say we've got a cell phone starter kit. That's going to be my finished product. So my cell phone starter kit, I'm going to set the product type again to serialized because we want to be able to track those serials. Now I'm going to go into the bill of materials tab and start building out the components that go into my starter kit. So obviously we've got our cell phone Model Ys going into there, and I'm going to set the quantity to 1. Now I don't have a cost for this because I didn't enter in a cost, so that's why it's showing up as 0. If I did have a cost, I'd be able to see it here. I'm going to add some other components. So we've got our cell phone goes into that. We're going to put in a case, so the actual phone case, the cell phone case, and then the box. So our kit is made out of just 3 products, just for simplicity's sake. The actual cell phone unit, the cell phone case, and the box that it goes into. That's our kit. So I've gone ahead and created that bill of materials. Now, when I want to build this kit, I'm going to create a work order. So the quickest way to do it, the easy way to do it, is just from the bill of materials tab. You can click on manufacture 1, or inFlow can also tell you how many you can build, of course, with what you have in stock. But that would be the quickest way to do it. I'm going to take you the long way because that's been the theme. So we're going to go back to the home page, the main menu, inventory, work order. And in our work order, we're going to go ahead and add our finished product. So I'm going to go ahead and right click, add finished product. You can also click on that button there. And we're going to add our starter kit. So it's the cell phone starter kit. That's the one we want to build. And let's say we just want to build 1 so far. So I've set the quantity to 1. I'm going to click on OK. And there's our finished product. And those are, and just underneath it, we've got 3 components that go into it. So once this work order is completed, inFlow is going to deduct these components from stock and add the finished product into inventory. So just to recap, our cell phone starter kit is a serialized product. So we are going to be entering serial numbers for this starter kit. And our cell phone Model Y is also a serialized product. So we've got 2 serialized products going on in this work order here. So once you're actually ready to pick this work order, so you're going to your warehouse shelves and you're picking off the components, you're going to need to specify which serials were used in the work order. And the way you're going to do that, there's a couple of ways. You can select the finished product, just like I have here in this component structure here. And you'll notice, again, the very familiar ellipses here, the 3 dots, and that's where you can store the serial number that was used for that component. So if I knew that I was using serial number, let's say 9 for this component, I would enter it in here. You can also use the pick tab along the bottom. This is especially helpful if you are partially picking or completing a work order, or if you're picking items from different locations, you'll want to use the pick tab. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to go and autofill our pick screen. So those are the 3 components. And as soon as they get added to the pick tab, that's when inFlow deducts them from stock. So because our cell phone Model Y is a serialized product, I do need to specify the serial. If I don't specify the serial, inFlow will just pick a serial that we have in stock. Depending on your pick settings, it usually goes by alphabetical. So it's chosen my serial number 6, but I really want to add in serial number 9 instead. So I'm going in and switching that serial and specifying the serial number that will be used. And again, as soon as I've added it to the pick tab, inFlow deducts it from stock. Now, the finished product itself is also a serialized product. So we're going to need to specify the serial number for our finished product. Where you're going to do that is just in the Put Away tab. So the Put Away tab is used to tell inFlow where you want to put that finished product, which location you want to put it away to. I'm going to go ahead and autofill it. And here's our quantity. And of course, we do need to specify the serial number that we are creating. So usually, since we've just built this product, we have to assign a serial number. You can type it in manually, or you can have inFlow type it in for you. I'm going to go ahead and put in serial number 1 for this new product here. So that's my cell phone starter kit. And we can circle back to the work order tab. We can save it, and we can complete the work order. And so again, we've completed this work order, so inFlow has deducted these component items. and it will add this finished product to stock. So let's go ahead and just double check here that our cell phone starter kit has that correct serial that I've just created. So I'm right clicking onto it and clicking on show product details to open up the product details screen. There's our cell phone starter kit. We've got one in stock, of course, because we just built it. And there's that serial number that we've just built. So that's how you can keep track of serialized products that you manufacture. And now that we've done that, we can also track our serials. So if you ever do need to, if a customer comes back with a product that you've sold them that has a serial number and you need to cross-reference that that customer did in fact buy that serial number from you, you can search your products by serial number. So there's a few ways you can do that. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys just a long way to do it. Again, just to really nail down this point, I'm going to go ahead and sell this cell phone starter kit to a customer. So I'm going to create a sales order again, and this will be quick. I'm going to set, let's say, the customer to Jane again, and I'm going to sell her the cell phone starter kit this time. So I've only got that one serial in stock, so I'm going to go ahead and put it in. So that's serial number 1. And I'm going to go ahead and save this sales order, and I'm going to go ahead and fulfill it. So that means that inFlow deducts this serial number from stock. So if I go back to my product very quickly, there's my cell phone starter kit. I'm refreshing. I'm now down to 0 in stock. Now let's say Jane comes back and she tells me that the cell phone I sold her is faulty or it's due for some checkup and her warranty is, and we just want to make sure that it's still under warranty. So the way we can do that is by going into the order history tab. And the order history tab is great. You won't be able to see this in the web app just yet, but it is available in the Windows app. And it'll show you all of the orders that product has been on. So you'll be able to search your orders by serial number. So for example, this is probably a bad example because I only have one serialized item or product that I've ever created or sold for this one product. So for example, serial number 1, I can go ahead and filter my list by the serial number. And of course, it's going to be part of these 2 orders that I've just created. But it'll allow me to go back into, for example, the work order. I can see which work order this serialized product was created with and have a look at the different components that went into it. So I know that this cell phone Model Y is also a serialized product. So I'll be able to tell just from this work order what serial number was used. So I sold her the serialized, the cell phone with the serial number 9 on it. So with that in mind, I can go ahead and take a look at what sales order, sorry, what the purchase order, what vendor sold me this particular serial number. So the way I'm going to do that is just go into the cell phone Model Y product this time. And this is just to show you that there's different ways that you can search for a specific serial number. Now I'm going to go into the order history for this product, and I'm going to search for serial number 9 this time. Oops. Oh, and there's the different orders that this serial has been on. I'm interested in the purchase order because I want to see which vendor sold me this serial number, and it looks like it's this purchase order here, and I can open it up, and I can see that it was this vendor here, the cell phone supplier, sold it to me on October 19th. So you can use the serial number to track basically the end-to-end traceability from purchasing to manufacturing to selling. The serial number is going to be helpful for that. The serial numbers can also be searched for in the movement history tab of a product. So I'm just back onto my, for example, my cell phone Model Y product I created. I can go into the movement history tab as well and be able to search by serial. So if you want to track every single transaction that serial has been on, that's another screen that you can use. And then finally, you can see all of the products that you have, all the serials that you currently have in stock from the current stock screen. So I'm just closing out all of my tabs here. Now the current stock screen is a great screen for auditing purposes. I'm going to the main menu, inventory, and then current stock. And then it's going to show you all of the products you currently have in stock and where they're located. So if I'm interested in taking a look at my my cell phone Model Y, for example, I'm going to go ahead and search for it, cell phone Model Y. So I've got, I can see here that I've got 8 in stock in my Toronto warehouse, but I want to see the serial numbers that I have in stock. So I'm going to click on Show Serial Numbers. And inFlow is going to list out all of the serial numbers I currently have in stock. So as expected, we don't have serial number 9 and we don't have serial number 10 because we've sold them and we've used them in a work order. So that's just another place that you can see and see what serials you have in stock and how you can track them in inFlow. So that's pretty much the Windows app. I don't know if there are any questions about that so far, but we're going to switch over to the web app soon. Yes.
So we have 2 questions that are pretty much aligned. So let me just, where the question is because I love. Okay, so Chris is asking, can you refund the serialized product sales order and have the serial appear back in the pool? And Kate has a similar question, which is, can serialized items get checked out and then received back in if they are being temporarily loaned out and returned, not sold?
Yes. So great questions there. So you should be able to, and we'll just try it together just so I've got this right. But you can absolutely return a serialized product that's been loaned out, for example, and that's going to be done in these two tabs here. So if you're ever processing a return on a sales order, for example, if you're using that loan workflow, you'll sell the product, quote unquote, sell it to whoever you're loaning the product to. And then once they've returned that product back to you, you'd use the return and the restock tabs to do that. You should be, so we're just going to double check here together. If I'm adding a serialized product to a sales order, now, sorry, if I'm going to be using a sales order to take back a serialized product, you should be able to enter in a serial that you don't have in stock. So for example, if you are purchasing used item, or sorry, a customer is returning an item that they never purchased from you, but you'd still like to accept it, you can go into the return tab, because adding a product to the return tab is going to add it back into stock. So pretty much process a return here. So I'm going to add in my cell phone Model Y. Now, again, I do need to specify which serial number is coming back. So I'm going to put in a serial number that I don't have in stock. This one, 123, for example, I definitely don't have this in stock. So I've added it to the return tab. I'm going to go into the restock tab because I want to also add it back into stock. So I'm going to autofill it. And then if I go back to my sales order, we can see here that the circle is red and it's filled in. That means it's been returned and restocked. So it should be coming back into my inventory. And we've got that serial number there, serial number 123. That's a new one that I've never had in stock before. And I'm saving that. And then if we go back to our cell phone Model Y product, we should now have 9 in stock. Yep, and let's just double check. There's our serial number 123. So that's the one I just returned. So you can return a serial number that you've never owned before using a sales order. The important part here is that each serial needs to be unique. So if you're returning a serial number that you already have in stock, you are going to get an error. So, and that's the same thing with purchasing. inFlow is not going to allow you to purchase a serial number that you already have in stock because they have to be unique. So do keep that in mind. You will see an error. So for example, if I create a purchase order, just quickly so that you guys can see this, this won't take long. I've got serial number 6 in stock, for example. So I shouldn't be allowed to purchase another serialized unit that has a serial with 006. I'm adding my cell phone Model Y to my purchase order. I'm entering the serial number that I already have in stock. Whoops. And because I haven't received it yet, oh, there we go. There's that error that's going to, oh, no, that's not the right error. Let me just put in a vendor real quick. We're going to save it. Now, I've only entered in the serial. I haven't actually told inFlow I've received the serial into stock yet. So as I mentioned, you can enter in serials before you've actually received them. But once you have received them, you also do need to specify that you've received those serials. Now, I'm going in and adding it to the receive tab, and there's that serial number I've added in. I'm going to go ahead and save it. Now, when I try to save it, I'll get this error. So you already have serial number 6 in stock. So you won't be able to receive a serial that you already have in stock because that's not allowed. So hopefully that helps answer those 2 questions. Any other questions so far? Or?
Not so far. We've had a couple of questions, but I've been answering them in the chat. Pretty straightforward questions. So the ones that I feel like are a little bit more hands-on or that need a little bit more explaining, I'm saving them for you to show them, if that's okay with you, but I think it makes perfect sense. So if you guys on the chat see that I'm not replying to your questions because I'm just hoarding them for Danny, but any other question that is pretty simple or straightforward, I will reply directly on the chat. So thank you so much, Danny.
Yeah, oh, no worries. Yeah, let me know if there's anything else to demo too. Be happy to do that as well.
Yeah, sure.
So now that we've done the Windows app, I'm going to demo the web app real quick. So this is, if you don't have access to a Windows computer or can't download the Windows app, you're going to be using our inFlow Cloud for Web app on your browser. So from the web app, you can create serialized products, you can purchase them and sell them. You can't build them right now because as of this webinar, we don't have the work order and bill of materials features available on web just yet. So you can't build them, but you'll be able to purchase, sell them, and you'll also be able to track those serial products as well from the web. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at that real quick. So just going to switch over to the web app. Okay.
Actually, Danny, before we move on, there's here a question that I'm not sure about, so I'm hoping that you can help me out. So Rob is asking, can a sales invoice be reprinted without showing serial numbers? I believe that only if you upload a custom document for that. I'm not sure if the serial numbers do appear, all of them, on the same invoice. Any thoughts?
That's a good question. And you know what? I'm glad you asked, Rob, because I didn't show you guys the invoicing or printing the invoice and where the serial numbers appear. So thank you for asking that. Núrya, I think you're right. I think you'll need to create a custom document for this so that you don't see the serial numbers. I will show you from the web app what the document's going to look like and where the serials do appear. And just know that it'll be the same or very similar in the Windows app. When you do print an invoice or purchase orders, those serial numbers will appear there. So yes, great question. And I think, yes, it's a custom document. You don't want serial numbers appearing.
Awesome. Okay. I'll also share our knowledge base article about the custom documents here on the chat. So thank you, Danny.
Yeah, no worries. And here we go. Hopefully this will work out nicely. So we're just in the web app now. This is just from a browser app. The way that you can get here is just going onto our website. So inflowinventory.com. There'll be a login button in the top right, and you'll be able to log into your account. The process of creating a serialized product in the web app is very similar to the Windows app. So we're going to do that very, very quickly. We're going to, the quick way that you can create a new product is just from the home page and clicking new product, or you can go to the main menu, scroll down to inventory and then new product. You'll enter in your product name. So we talked about cars. Cars are often serialized. So I'm just going to make this super simple. My product name is car. And again, the most important part is to set the product type to serialized product. So I've gone and done that. I'm clicking on create. And there's our product there. So it's going to look a little bit different from the Windows app, but it's all still here. We'll be able to see what serials we have in stock just from the quantity on hand that's displayed here. So if you click into your location, you'll be able to see in more detail how many you have in stock in that location. And just like the Windows app where we have those 3 little dots or the let's-sees, it'll look very similar in the browser app, except that there's going to be 3 little squares in this case. And you'll be able to add in your serials just from this screen. So for example, if I wanted to add 5 serials, what you'll notice here is when cereals aren't entered, those boxes are not blue anymore. They're just white boxes here. So it means that your cereals haven't been entered in yet. And again, you can enter those in manually if you want, or you can have inFlow generate them for you, just like in the Windows app. And as soon as you've entered in all the cereals, those boxes turn blue. So that's how you know. But we're going to keep this at 0 just because we want to purchase this from our vendor instead. So once I've created this product, I'm going to save it. Again, the product type is what tells inFlow that it's a serialized product. Now, when we're ready to purchase this product, we're going to click into the main menu. Then we're going to click on New Purchase Order. Okay, there we go. We're going to select our vendor. So I'm going to go ahead and do a new vendor here just to keep things nice and clean. So car vendor. We're going to create that car vendor just by clicking on that button there. Oops, start with new vendor. There we go. So create. Okay. And let's see here. This might not be working while I'm streaming. So let's try a vendor that we've already done before. Okay. We're going to cancel out of there. We're going to create a new purchase order. Here we go. Oh, there's our car vendor. Okay, so it did create in the back end. Okay, so we're creating a new purchase order. This is going to look pretty much the same as in the Windows app, just a bit of an updated look. You'll have the different tabs at the top here. So we've got our purchase, receive, return on stock tabs all over here, just like in the Windows app. We're going to scroll down to where we're going to add the products. So again, if you've got your products barcoded, you can absolutely scan them into the screen here. I don't have my car barcoded just yet, so I'm going to enter it in manually. And because it's a serialized product, I have to specify the cereals that I'm receiving. Let's say I'd like to receive 10 of these into stock. I've entered in 10, and I've got 10 spots to enter cereals. I'm going to have inFlow generate these for me. So I'm going to click on Generate Cereals. And oops, I guess I have to click over here. So depending on where my cursor is living, let's see here, we'll put in, that's our serial number here. And again, you can add a prefix and a suffix if you'd like as well. You can put in the unit price. This time I will actually put in a unit price. All right, we're going to save. And we're going to receive the purchase order. So very similar to the Windows app. I've entered in the cereals before I've actually received them. I didn't have to do that. If I'm not sure, if my vendor doesn't tell me which cereals they're going to be sending me, I can leave that for later. But since I've entered it in, that's great. I can go ahead and just fulfill this purchase order to add them into stock. Now, if I haven't entered in the cereals yet, I can also enter them into the Receive tab. So once I've actually received those cereals, I'll go into the Receive tab. I'm going to click on Autofill to add in the products that I have on the order. Now, I've already specified the cereals, so they're showing up here, but you can enter them in manually if you'd like as well. I'm going to go ahead and save it. And as soon as the item has been marked as received, inFlow adds it to stock. So just to show you that, I'm going into my product list. And we're going to take a look at the car product I just created. And things are a bit slower when I'm streaming, so we'll see if this will hopefully open up soon. And I'm just clicking into my car product here from my product list. And we've got 10 in stock because I've just purchased 10 of them. I can click into the location for more details and to see all of the cereals that I currently have in stock. So I've got 10 in stock and I've got the cereals listed here. So that's how you can create and receive serialized products. Selling it, again, is going to be very similar, just you're creating a sales order instead. So to do that, I'm just going to go ahead and go to the main menu, go into the sales order, so new sales order. I'm going to enter in my customer. I'm going to sell another product to Jane here so that she's got a cell phone and a new car. And we're going into, now that we're in the sales order, we're going to go ahead and add in the product. We're going to add in car. Oops. There we go. And then we're going to enter in the quantity. So I've got 1 here that I'm going to be selling to her. And I'm going to specify the cereal that I'm selling to her. So I'm clicking into here. I'm going to say that I've sold cereal number 123. That's the serial number here. So that I'm selling to her. And again, once we've created that sales order, we have to tell inFlow that we've actually gone out and picked that item and removed it from inventory. And the way we're going to do that, the quick way to do that is after saving, you can scroll down and click on the fulfill button, and that will just immediately remove any items that are on the order from stock. Or again, if you need to partially fulfill an order, or you've got multiple items on the order that are being picked from different locations or different sub-locations, you'll want to use the fulfill tab instead. And you can you can also specify which serial number you are selling to the customer and the location, of course. And then once an item has been added to the fulfill tab, it's been removed from stock. So if we go back to our product here and refresh, I used to have 10 in stock. We can now expect that I have 9. And when I look at the cereals that I have in stock, I shouldn't see serial number 123 because I just sold that. So really, you've got all of that traceability from purchasing all the way through to the sales order of the product. So yep, I've got 9 in stock, and I can click into the location for more information and click on the 3 little boxes here to see what cereals I currently have in stock, and I don't have 123 because I've sold it. So that's the way you're going to purchase and sell serialized items off of the web app. If you'd like to track your serialized products, you're going to run a report instead. So the web app doesn't have the order history and the movement history tabs yet. So you're going to use a report instead. So we're going into the main menu, and then we're going into reports. And then from here, we're going into the audit log. Then we're going into inventory movement log. And then we're clicking on to details, and we have this information in a support knowledge base article. So don't have to memorize all of this. This is just to show you very quickly what you can do to track your cereals in the web app. Now, here's our reports. I'm going to filter this report by a product, by a specific product here, because, actually, you know what? We're just going to do it by transaction type. So we'll do purchase order, purchase order receive. And there is that serial column here. So you'll be able to see the cereals that you've received over time. So that's all of the items that I have here, but let's look for my car product, or maybe I haven't. I'm probably doing the wrong filter. I always do this where I put in the wrong filter, but we're going to apply all of them actually. There we go. Hopefully I got this right. But the takeaway here is that the reports on the web app are going to be what you're going to use to keep track of your cereals and see which sales orders or transactions that specific cereal has been on. So that's going to be the web app. Any questions so far?
Okay. I was just looking for Matt's explanation because he did ask, is there a way to add a stock number if the product does not have a serial number? I was a bit confused, so I did ask for a clarification, and we just got a message. So he says, I have a lot of products that do not carry a serial number, but I still want to track where they are or which employee grabbed it, so I can see what job it went to or who I need to sell to.
Yeah, so if your products don't come with a serial number already, you can have inFlow generate those serial numbers for you. Of course, you're going to want to make sure that you've added those serial numbers to your actual product so that you can track which serial was given out. So you'll want to print out those serial numbers and stick them onto the product, just like you would a barcode, or somehow maybe with a marker or whatever works, of course, that you just want to note down the serial number on the actual product itself, so that when it's returned to you, you can cross-reference the serial number. But you can absolutely have inFlow generate them for you. So as part of the purchase order side, just like we saw, you have a few options. I'm going to go ahead and click on new purchase order. Just do this very quickly, just to show you guys where you can generate those serials. But on the purchasing side, if you go into your add product, we're going to add car to it. And then you can click on the little, so I'm going to say that I want to purchase 10 of these items. And I'm going to just scroll down so you can see here. So when you click on the little boxes here, at the bottom, you'll have the option to have inFlow generate it for, the serial numbers for you. I'm going to go ahead and add a prefix here. So SN for serial number. And then I'm going to put the next number as 001. Oh, and it's taking away the leading zero. So I'm going to go ahead and maybe do 1,000. Let's see what happens here. If I click on generate serials, so inFlow has generated those serials for me. And then I have a bad habit of clicking out of the first. Oh, there we go. We're going to just put in, there we go. So I've just generated 10 serials. And if I click out, inFlow will save them to that order. So you can have inFlow do that. Of course, it just means that you'll need to somehow get that serial number onto your product so you can print out those serial numbers and stick them onto your product. That way, write them down if you don't need to go through the trouble of printing them all out or writing them onto the actual product. So once I've created that purchase order or the sales order, and just to jump to before I forget, if you want to see those serial numbers on a purchase order, they do appear. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what happens when you try to print one of these documents out. So I'm going to go ahead and print out the purchase order just so that you guys can see what it'll look like with the serials. And it'll look very, oops, and I'm not sure why things are not working for me today. Okay. Oh, there we go. I think it might be just the streaming here. But there's our purchase order. And oh, you know what? The serials are not showing up. So that's interesting. Maybe the purchase order, maybe that's the document that we want. If you don't want the serials to show up, would be the purchase order. And then let's see if it's the receiving note that's showing the serial numbers. No, not in here either. So that's interesting. I'm going to just double check the Windows app here. Sorry, guys.
What about the sales order? Do you think it would show on a sales order? I'm actually confused and I cannot remember, but I think the question was for the sales order.
Yeah, let me check let's see very quickly the purchase order to see if we've actually, maybe because we haven't actually received that one. Let's see, I'm into a purchase order where we've received, I think that might be it. I'm sorry, I'm making things very confusing, but that purchase order that we looked at the web wasn't received. So I think that's probably why we're not seeing the serial numbers. So I'm just going to go ahead and click into the purchase order from the web Windows app just to show that. And then it's going to be the same with the sales order. If it shows up on the PO, we can assume that it's also showing up on the sales order. So yes, there it is. There's those serial numbers that I received for this purchase order. So I've confused things a little bit. I'm sorry, guys. This purchase order has not been received yet, so inFlow obviously doesn't have any serials to show us. But if we were to go into a purchase order that I've actually received and have those serials, I'm going to go ahead and open that up. So we're going to click on the purchase order and close out of all these other tabs. And the same is true then for the sales orders. Oh, and you know what? It's still not showing up. So, interesting. So maybe I guess from the web app, the serials aren't showing up, but from the Windows app, you can see them from a purchase order. So let's double check the sales order side very quickly. And then from the Windows app, let's take a look here. So we've got this sales order here. I'm going to find one that's fulfilled. So this one's fulfilled. So I'm just jumping back to the Windows app really quickly. Let's see. I'm expecting there to be a serial number on this sales order. So, yep, there it is. So there's that serial number. There we go.
So in this case, for the Windows app, we should really use the custom documents to just hide it.
Yes, that's what it sounds like. And then for this guy here, I've sold, let's see, I've sold serial number 123. So let's see if it shows up on that invoice. So we're learning together.
Completely.
Completely. There we go. Okay, so it's not showing up here either, and I guess I was expecting differently, but we'll look into that. Because yeah, the expectations that the serial will be showing up. So if you're watching this in the future, you might see some serial numbers on invoices in the future. And if you don't, if that's something you want, make sure to reach out to us and let us know so we can record that feature request. But I guess that answers those questions, unless I'm missing something. But yeah,
I think
that's
that's it.
the website. So we've purchased and we've sold and we've tracked serials with the report. And I know we're going a little bit over time right now, but I'll quickly show for anyone who's sticking around, I'm going to show you guys how you can create serials in the mobile app, and also how you'll be able to sell and purchase them. So let's just quickly take a look at that.
Which is exciting because this is relatively new, right?
Yeah, this is relatively new. We've just
Ooh.
released this, I think, a week or two ago. So let me just get that mobile app started. And if you haven't downloaded the mobile app, it's a great app that you can install on your Android or iOS device. Or if you are, if you've got an iPad, for example, that's another thing that you can download the app onto if you want to keep track of your inventory on the go. So I'm just quickly going into share my mobile phone screen, so bear with me here. And Núrya, just to while
Yeah.
I look this up, what are you drinking today?
Well, I was drinking some iced tea, but it's gone now. So yeah, what are you drinking?
Ooh, I've got an apple spice tea going. So for the
Oh, that
fall, I
sounds
figured.
nice.
Yeah, it's really warm, and it's got cinnamon in it, and it's a little sweet, so it's kind of nice. Okay, hopefully this will all get us up and running shortly. All right, so
Just share the app. Do not share your wallpaper.
oh my gosh,
I'm
my
assuming it's safe,
wallpaper.
but we never know.
You know, I'm actually, I kind of like my wallpaper. I would love to show it. I'm going to be, but you know, fortunately for everyone else, I'm going to be demoing off my the smart scanner this time.
Okay.
So it'll be a very, I think, plain
Professional?
stock,
Okay.
very professional, very stock background here. So I'm going to start sharing my screen again. So many sharing. Okay, here we go. Hopefully you guys will be able to see that. Okay.
Yes.
All right, so this is, I'm demoing off one of our smart scanners. If you can see, this is what it looks like. So you can install the mobile app onto your personal phone if you'd like. We also have a dedicated smart scanner, Android smart scanner, so you can install the app, or it comes installed with the app. And it has a dedicated scanning feature as well. So just know that you can download this onto your personal mobile device. Now I've just clicked into the app, so this is the home page here. So from the mobile app, you can create, purchase, and sell serialized products. You can't track them and you can't build them if you're manufacturing. So the way that we're going to create that serialized product is very simply, we're going to create a new product. So from the home page, you can click on new product, or products, and then there's that plus. Or the long way, you can go to the main menu and then scroll down to products there. Hopefully you guys can see me clicking. So I've just clicked on products. And then in the top right, there's that plus sign. And I think everything's just super slow right now because I am streaming and from 3 different devices at this point. So we'll see if my internet can handle this. But I'm going to click on the little plus sign in the top right. And that's going to open up the new product screen for me. And I'm going to enter in the product name. So I'm going to do laptop. That's another serialized product that many of us have. And again, the important part here is to set the product type to serialized. and then I'm going to click on create in the top right. And this is going to, oh, I already have a laptop in stock. So let me call this laptop model Z. Why not? Whoops. We're going to create that. And hopefully this will load. But yes, I've got a lot of things going on in the background here. So I'm sure if this will work out the way I'm hoping. Okay, we'll let that go for a moment. If this doesn't work, what we'll do for sure is maybe create a little video that we can share with everyone. But in any case, the steps that I'm going through are in our knowledge base article. So if you wanted to try this out on your own, we do have the steps there. It doesn't look like it wants to load for me, and that might be just my internet connection here. But let's see if we can purchase that product that I've just created. I'm just going to click into the main menu and then purchase order. And everything seems to be lagging quite a bit. There we go. So we've got the purchase orders here. So when I'm ready to purchase that item, I've just gone into that purchase order screen again. I'm going to click in the top right, that plus sign to create a new purchase order. So I'm going to select my vendor here. Let's see, we've got, I've got a whole bunch of dummy vendors here. I'm going to do my dummy vendor. Why not? Here we go. So there's our purchase order, or mobile purchase order. It's going to be very similar to our Windows and web apps that we've gone through and the steps that you're going to be taking. So you're going to add the products to this order that you are purchasing. So I'm clicking on add products at the very bottom. If you do have them barcoded, again, you're going to see a barcode icon, so you can scan those barcodes using your mobile phone's camera if you'd like, but I don't have them barcoded. So I'm going to go ahead and just add them in manually. So I'm going to go and add in my laptop, and it's laptop model Z. So I'm clicking into that to open that up. And then I'm going to add the quantity that I want to purchase from my vendor. So let's say I want to purchase 10 of these guys. I'm putting in 10 manually. And at this point, I have the option of setting the serials from this screen here. So if my vendor already told me which serials I will be receiving, I can add them in now. I can click on set serials, or I can do that later during the receiving step. So I'll do it later. I'm going to go ahead and add the product by clicking add product, and done. So now I should have 10 of these items on the order. And now once I'm ready to receive them in, I'm going to go click on receive at the bottom. So receive. And now I'm going to check off the items I've received so far. So I'm going to go ahead and click that little white checkbox to the left of the picture for laptop model Z. I'm clicking on that. Hopefully you can see that. And that's going to open up the serials screen. So at the bottom there, I'm going to enter the serials that I've received so far. Again, if they're barcoded, you can scan them in, but you can enter them in manually. So for example, I've received serial number 001 so far, and I can click on set serial, and you'll notice it starts populating. And the little bar at the bottom there is telling me how many serials I still need to enter. So I still need to enter 9, and I can keep going and enter them in one by one. If my products don't have a serial number, I can have inFlow generate those serial numbers for me. And the way I'm going to do that is to the left of the enter serials field, there's a little cog settings symbol. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. So that's just to the left of the enter serials field. And just like the Windows and web app, we can enter in a prefix. So I'm going to enter in SN, and then we can enter in the next number that it should start at. And I'm going to start it at 1,000. And if we want to enter in a suffix, we can do that as well. So we can click on fill serial. So we can see here, inFlow is going to be generating those serial numbers for me. So once I've done that, I've received all of the items I have on this purchase order, so I can go ahead and save. And those serials have now been added to stock. And I can go back to my product. Hopefully it will actually load this time. Let's see. I've had bad luck with streaming. Yes, awesome. Okay, there we go. So, and I'm going to just search for my laptop product I just purchased for. And I'm going to click on Model Z. And I can see here that I now have 10 in stock, 10 quantity in stock. And I can click on the quantity on hand. So I'm going to click on that right now. So I've just tapped on that to open it up. And then I see all the different locations I have. I don't have any sub-locations. I've just got one single location. So I'm going to go ahead and click onto the no sub-location button there, the one where it says 10. I'm going to click on that. And then we can edit or view the serial numbers that I have in stock. I'm going to go ahead and click on that big yellow button, and I can see all of the cereals I currently have in stock. So these are all the ones that I've just purchased with that purchase order. So now what we're going to do is we're going to sell one of these serial numbers. So the way we're going to do that is with a sales order, of course. So I'm just clicking out of all of this, and let's see here. Oops, and I think I've whoops. Yep, I've clicked the wrong thing. There we go. Okay, so just going to the main menu in the top left, sales orders, and we're almost done here. So just this last sales orders, and then that'll be the end of the webinar. I'm going to create a new sales order by clicking that plus sign in the top right. I'm going to enter in my customer, and I've got a bunch of dummy customers here. I'm going to just put in Danny as my customer. And that's going to create that new sales order. I'm going to add the products that I'd like to sell to my customer by clicking on add product at the bottom. And I'm going to search for my laptop. My laptop Model Z, I've got 10 in stock. I can see that there. And I'm going to specify how many I'm going to sell to my customer. I'm just going to sell one for now. Again, I can set the serial number now if I'd like to. And generally, when you're selling to a customer, you probably already know the serial number that you're going to be selling to them. So I'm going to click on Set Serials. And inFlow is going to display the different serials that I have in stock. So if I know that I'm selling serial number 1000, I'm going to go ahead and check that off. Click on Done. And then Done again, just to add it to my order. So now I've added it to the order. Now I just have to mark it as fulfilled. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Fulfill. And I'm going to, again, check off all of the items that I have picked off my shelf and have fulfilled. So I'm going to click that little checkbox to the left of the picture of my laptop. And that's going to bring up the serial numbers. So I've already specified the serial. So inFlow is showing me the one that I've specified. And just to confirm that that's the one that I've picked, I'm going to go ahead and check it off. Click on Done. And then I can go ahead and finish off this order. So my order has been picked. I'm done here. I'm going to click on Save. And inFlow will deduct that serial from stock. So I've just sold my serial number 1000, so I shouldn't have it in stock anymore. So I think that's, we can all expect to now have 9 in stock and not be able to see that serial number 1000 in my quantity on hand. So yep, that's right. I've got 9 in stock. And quickly, just to view, just to show you guys, whoops. I don't have serial 1000 in stock anymore because I've sold it. Okay, so that was a very simplified demo here. I guess, do we have any questions?
Yes. I don't know if you heard me. I just unmuted myself, and I think I said the yes before I unmuted myself. Anyway, we do have a couple of questions. So the first one is, when someone is picking up sales orders and if he picks up the wrong serial number, does it stop? For example, if I order SCN1, they scan SCN2. So I did reply on the chat. I said you should select the serial as you're picking it. But I think that the question was made in a different way. Like, for example, if you already selected which serial number to sell and you're picking it, can you pick the wrong number? I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either, but there should be some logic behind it. Let's see. Oops. And I clicked the wrong button again on my phone. Let's double check here. So we're going to do the sales, or we'll do the picking, for example.
Yeah.
And if you've already set the serial numbers, only the ones that you've set so far are going to show up in the list for you to pick. So you won't have a chance to actually to pick the wrong one. If you are scanning it in, sorry, and I don't have my serials unfortunately barcoded, so I won't be able to show you, but if you scan a serialized product that's not in that list, there should be an error that pops up and says as much. So there would be some error handling there.
And that's great you said that, because the next question was, in the mobile app, when you are receiving and selling products, are you able to scan the serial numbers?
Yes, absolutely. You can. So it'll look something like this. So I'm on the smart scanner, which means that there's a dedicated scan feature. So there's a scan button here that all I have to do is click it. So just how you can see, well, I don't know if this will work. Let's see. Oh, whoop. Well, you guys probably just got flashed with the red light. But anywho, if I did have some barcodes here, it would just add it to it. So it's going to look slightly different from your personal device if you don't have the smart scanner. But anywhere where you can scan something like a barcode or a serial number, you'll have the little barcode icon in the top right, if I'm not mistaken, from the mobile app. So it is something that you can do. You can scan your serial numbers with the mobile app, yes. I hope that was the question. I think that was the question, right? Yes.
That was the question. We also have another question, which I was investigating actually, because it's related to Dymo. So can inFlow print labels with serial numbers? So I was just checking our Dymo knowledge base article, because I'm not sure if that's one of the tags that we can include in custom labels from Dymo. So let me just double check.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that either.
I don't think so. Oh, actually, yes, we do have serial number. Oh, that's interesting.
Oh, great. Okay, so yes, so you can add it as
Yes,
a
actually, Stephanie
code.
was just saying that. It definitely is. So thank you, Stephanie.
Oh, excellent. Yes. Awesome.
Yeah, I'll also
Yay,
link it
great.
here. There we go. Thank you so much.
There's a lot to know. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's good to know that you can. I didn't know that actually. So good question.
Amazing. Yeah. So I don't think, well, we don't have any new questions, but if you still have questions, feel free to write them in the chat. I think we'll be here for a couple more minutes just to check if everyone is happy with the webinar, if there's something else you need to know regarding serial numbers. Anything else that is not regarding serial numbers, you can contact us on our support page, which was already linked a bunch of times, but I will link it again once I find it. If not, we're always here, so to speak, during our business hours. We also have chats. You can go for a quick chat and or email us at support@inflowinventory.com or at the website that I'm about to link once I get it.
Yeah. So we are always available. Oh no, okay. And if you have any trouble with your scanners or with serial numbers, or if you have any other questions about that, please reach out to our support team directly and they'll be able to help troubleshoot it with you. So that'll be the best way to do that.
So yes, please send us an email. You can go to that link that I just sent and just either email us or ask for a chat. We are here at the moment, so go ahead.
And then yeah, thanks everyone for joining us. This has been
thank you so much, Danny. But it was very informative. I learned new things, which was great.
Oh, excellent. Me too. We did a lot together. So
yeah.
Printing.
And thank you everyone for your questions. They were very interesting. And again, we learned from them. We had to double check some things, which is great because we have so much stuff that we can do with inFlow that we can just memorize it. So we do need to check our own knowledge base. And those questions were great. So thank you so much for sticking around and for asking questions and for all of your comments.
Yeah, thank you. And I think we've got a question here about lot numbers real quick.
Okay.
There isn't a direct way to track lot numbers right now. We do have a great workaround in our knowledge base, but it's been a requested feature before, so we're going to note that down and let the product team know. But yes,
Yep.
maybe sometime in the future. Who knows?
Hopefully.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's see. Any more questions? I think we might be good. So, all right. I guess if you guys have any other questions, feel free to reach out to us over live chat or to the support team, and then we'll catch you on the next webinar. It'll be next
Sure
month.
thing. Thank you so much.
And thank you, Núrya, for co-hosting.
Oh, that was fine. I was just like here answering questions while you were doing all the work. So thank
Oh,
you
no.
for all your preparation.
Oh my gosh, anytime. You're the MVP here. I always need help with the questions, so thank you. But
You're welcome.
yeah, I guess we'll see everyone else at the next webinar, and yeah, have a great rest of your day and stay warm.
See you guys. Thank you.
Bye for now.